Nurses, we just want to thank you for everything you do. We are ShiftKey.com. Log on today and connect to open PRN shifts in your area. Work when you want, where you want. You can even get paid next day. ShiftKey.com. Start today.
Fortunately for them, DJ neighbour Matt Burgess couldn't sleep.
My nightjar, Welsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages.
Oh, mate. Cheers. I love him.
Representing the men and women on sporting fields across the globe. It's now time for another Best Team Men podcast.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Best Team Men. Now, we know what round it is. Andy, you dug this up before.
Yes, I did.
What round is it?
What I write? 27. 27, there we go.
27. And
Is that just this year?
yes. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
So when you used to send it through to me, that was for the year.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, there you go. This
Yeah.
year.
That's
2020.
brilliant. We should be really proud of that. The thing we shouldn't be proud of is the fact that we were supposed to put Andy's audio into the intro.
Look.
Which didn't happen.
Sometimes when you make a mistake, you've got to put your hand up and own up to it, and I'm not prepared to do that this time. I was too busy.
Okay.
I get it. I'm the new guy. You know, we've got to form relationships. You
I
may
think
not like me.
You need to be on straight away.
No,
We love you.
that is my fault. I put my hand up for that, so I apologise to you, Andy.
No,
That's
it's
totally
all
fine.
good. Like, you had a cyclone in Morphettvale last night. And
We did have a tornado,
yeah.
apparently, and I slept through the whole thing.
You are a pretty heavy sleeper. What we do have, though, is a brand new logo, which
Yeah.
looks brilliant. We're really happy with that because Andy's part of the logo now. I think when we do our new intro, if we aim for this time next week to have a new intro, we don't have your voice saying representing the sport
Yeah.
because we're not representing sport anymore.
Not anymore, no.
So we could get Taylor or Rosie from the Up and Go podcast or whatever to voice that if they do it for free. I spoke to Rosie yesterday and she said to me, so what was your favourite episode? I haven't listened to the podcast. And
You're like the chocolate one.
yeah, well, my wife, I said, remember, listens to the podcast, and last night I actually busted her because as soon as I opened the front door, I reckon she just pressed play to prove that she was listening to the podcast. Because I walk in the door, hear a little bit of shuffling, and then representing the... I love your podcast. What was your favourite bit? Oh, the first 7 seconds was my favourite. Then I've got to prepare dinner. So we are here. We've got, there's a fair bit to discuss.
Yeah.
Do we talk about birthday boy first? Because,
Yeah.
Matty, happy birthday. We don't have birthday music. What do we have?
We've got some of this.
Happy birthday, mate. How
Thanks,
old
mate.
did you turn?
36.
All right, you are going to get to that and your thoughts on birthdays very shortly. Did you do anything special or are you feeling good?
Oh, I'm always feeling good, but no, nothing really that special. I went out to lunch yesterday with my wife and we went to the driving range and hit some golf balls, and that was about it, really.
That's okay. I actually sent your wife a DM on Instagram. My voice just broke. Then Adelaide United.
I actually sent him off a message on them.
I'll bring that audio for
please
the
do.
next one because we're going through all the old audio I've got while I'm backing up 54,000 emails, still going at home and finding all this old stuff. And so I found a photo of you and I from our days.
Yes.
When we were DJing and emceeing at nightclubs, and I put it up because Matty's wearing a hat. I don't know if you saw it, Andy. Matty's wearing a hat he looks like he got from the bloody flea markets. He's wearing a fake Orlando Magic hat.
Yeah. What's going on with that jaw? Is he chewing that or what's going on?
Out the Chicago Magic, Shaquille Jordan, my favourite player.
Shaquille Jordan.
And I've written happy birthday, and your missus wrote a response to the picture, and she wrote, oh my God, he looks terrifying. And I wrote, he's a great kisser.
No, see, I go back to when we used to work together.
Yeah.
All right. And there were times where we would take a photo and the instruction from you would be to look as creepy as we could.
Yeah. So I didn't have to pull a face or anything. That's just me natural.
So that's me trying to pull a creepy face.
Yeah,
So,
it worked well. We did look a lot younger back then.
a lot, yeah.
Far out, we've aged pretty poorly. So we're going to discuss you and birthdays throughout the podcast. It might be another extended round because I thought it was great last time. What did you think, Andy?
Yeah, you know what? I listened back to it, I think, 3 times.
Awesome. So
Get
we've
the
definitely
stats
got
up.
3
Yeah,
listeners.
That's
Great.
right. We have got 3 listeners, and I wrote all the reviews as well.
Thank you.
I should have been a No, I listened back to it, and the 53 minutes or whatever the podcast was went super quick.
Yeah.
And
Is that because you press fast forward heaps?
I did. I put it on like times 5.
I love this chipmunk best team man.
But in the CBAA, right? So the Community Broadcasters of Australia awards they do. It's like the ACRAs or the Logies.
How do we get nominated?
No, we can't because we're a podcast, not a radio. But they have an award called You Can't Get Out of the Car Award, and it's for good content where if you're listening to it in the car, you're going to wait until it finishes before you get out of the car.
Right.
Shitty content, you get straight out of the car, right?
Yeah. Correct.
I sat in the car for an extra 15 minutes to finish the particular part that we're talking about last week.
That's great
perfect.
feedback.
Yeah, I'm not narcissistic. It's not because I was in it or anything, but it was. But like Matty said during the week, you listen to it not as part of the podcast, but you're listening to it as a listener.
Yeah, you know what's coming up. Like we know what we've spoken about.
Yeah,
and you remember certain parts of it, and you know what's coming, but you still want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of what's coming up, Andy was on the beers again this week. We need to discuss this because we saw that on socials. The story I didn't get to last week about when I almost met Alicia Keys in Hong Kong. Andy, Matt and I, you're not across this yet. Matt and I had the most uncomfortable text message exchange.
It was only made uncomfortable by you.
It was, okay, so we're going to read out the text message exchange and then you can make up your own mind. We'll do that. We need to talk about the first time that you discovered the internet, which will be very interesting. Andy's found some more gold, or so to speak, from what I did on radio one day, and Andy's sporting a new haircut, as well as the normal things that we do, such as a Port Pirates update. We'll put some names on the plaque. The multi, we'll give away that voucher. And speaking of voucher and our sponsors, Matty, get straight into the news.
Okay, so I've gone to visit Con, okay, but let me go back a little bit. We decided we needed a new logo to put Andy's name on it.
Correct.
Okay, the old gold little cup didn't have Andy's name on it, so we thought, you know what, new member, new logo. And Andy's whipped up a
clip art.
A Shutterstock.
Yeah. Speaking of the first time I went on the internet, it was back in 95 and I kept that clip art kit and I made our trophy.
You know what's funny about that? I think I saw an ad over the weekend or something on a big screen somewhere where they had the most dodgy looking trophy and I'm like, you've just pulled that from Microsoft PowerPoint. Then I realised it was our logo.
So Andy's whipped up a medallion with a red, white and blue strap around it. Yep. He's got our 3 names on it. And on the flip side, he's got Best Team Men.
Yep.
Okay, so after that went up, within, I reckon, a couple of hours, I'd copped an inbox from Con at Brighton Trophy Centre.
So Con works with Lena as well. Lena's his missus.
That's right.
I reckon we need to say Con and Lena from now on.
Con and Lena, because they both listen. Yeah, both together.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Con and Lena.
There's mine for the week. Connolina up on the plate.
None of that made sense.
Is Andy still on the beers? Or?
All I'm saying is I had a lot of stout yesterday. And I'm very flat today.
Yeah, you stink.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so Con and Lena.
So Lena can go up on the plaque today.
Okay, sure. Because Con's already up there.
I mean, we were going to say that later, but especially when you said Con and Lena can go on the plate.
Hey, boys, going anyway.
Yeah. Con. So Con. So I got an inbox from Con, and he sent me a photo through of 3 replica medallions on blue and white and red straps.
What a man that guy is.
He is an absolute guru. And
this
honestly,
is amazing. And you can tell that he's designed them, Con, because I don't know if you were aware, he was speaking to me during the week. He's also into creative stuff, like his art, but he was bullshitting because he's a con artist.
Yeah.
Oh! This is awesome. So we're going to put this on our socials. Our social media account is
at Best Team Men on Twitter, facebook.com/Best Team Men. Now, that's not where this ends. I haven't told you guys this. I went and picked him up this morning. Yeah, okay. Dropped in to see Con and Lena.
How exciting.
Right.
Walking in the door.
Great man.
Yep. What's on the LED?
Funniest podcast.
That's good. He's done well. Yeah. What I love about Con, he takes direct with respect feedback.
Yeah. Quick turnaround as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because if we actually, I think Con just does what we say, but we're very respectful. Because if we said, Con, can you please write Best Team Men, 2 out of the 3 are circumcised. I think that we're respectful of the business. Don't write that.
No, but he's going to write which one do you think is it?
Interaction.
Yeah, that's right. Get a bit of feedback from the listeners.
That's right, yeah. Now, I've gone in. Okay, Con's given us the medallions. He's given me the medallions. And he said, hang on a second, I've got something else for you. And he walks around the corner and he pulls out this 24-pack of spring water.
This is what you've brought in.
Yes, this is what I've brought in. So he goes, I heard the water there's frozen and undrinkable.
Of course, from last week.
You can open one.
Yeah, I'm going to open one of these just to test it because I think your one from last week's still thawing out.
So there you go. So Con's given us a 24-pack bottle of spring water.
Wow.
Packet. So Jared's
That's amazing. Oh, it's gorgeous.
He's just had one. But it doesn't end there.
What?
No. Obviously, you guys alluded that it was my birthday yesterday, which it was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all you needed to do was go on social media and you could see that it was your birthday with your 3 Facebook accounts.
Anyway, hey, there's a reason behind that. And the 3 we don't talk about, boys.
G'day, my name is Matthew Burner.
Anyway, Con has gone, I didn't know what to get you for your birthday.
Yeah.
Goes back around the corner and pulls out a slab 24-pack of Fanta.
No way! That's the best! Oh, my God. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, from your point of view, in the years that you've worked in commercial radio, that has been the best interaction with a sponsor ever.
Mate, it's been incredible. And what I love most about Con and Lena, or as Andy said, Conolina.
And the plague boy.
Is that like a Brangelina or something?
I really do think so.
Yeah.
It's going to stick, and it'll be on the new T-shirts.
Well, we'll do it in the ad we do at halfway through point, at halftime of this round.
Yes.
What I love is that this is just organic stuff, right? So Con liked listening to the podcast. The reason we do this. Anybody who gives us positive feedback is great because we have a good time no matter what. If no one listened to the podcast, that's cool because we have a great time and it's just led to this. And, we do the ads now on 5AA for Brighton Trophy Centre. Rowie loves doing it. Like it's a really nice thing. And I think all 3 of us, especially in 2020, we've spoken about like the connections and the friendships and relationships that you have are the most important thing. And Con's been absolutely amazing. So we're more grateful that you are investing in what we do. And when we can, we'll all go down to where you are on Brighton Road and we will be able to have a drink with you and we'll just have some fun, mate, because it's been amazing.
Well, because Con has kindly been so involved in the show, I was talking to my mum about what Con does for the show and how amazing he is.
Yeah.
She's going down there to do some trophy business.
No way.
Get some engraving done on some gear as well.
Beautiful.
That's amazing. What for? Just
No.
for you, like, best son ever.
Yeah. I didn't really get that many trophies when I was younger, boys.
I know you got one now.
You know what's funny? Like, when you play like representative sport in year 6 and 7, like Sapsaza and all that sort of stuff, and you go away and you get a billet, and then they come to you. So in year 7, I was lucky enough to billet to Port Pirie. And stayed with the family there. And my billet's mum then decided that she wanted to spill the beans that he had never won a trophy, so he went to the trophy store in Port Pirie and bought himself one.
Yeah, see, I like that.
Yeah.
That's something I would do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So you know how with Con and we were talking about Thor last week, and you guys started going off on this journey of if you were a tradie and your thumb with Thor.
Yeah.
So
Pass me the Thor.
First of all, 2 things happened on the weekend. I went to a birthday party and my missus decided to tell the woman that I told the story about the podcast, and she said, "Hey, Jared, you should tell the story about what you said on the podcast about Thor." I'm like, "No, I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. Why are you doing this?
Have you
Why
met
are doing
Thor?
this?" No, I haven't. No, unluckily. But someone actually came up to me, and I need to give Sam Tugwell from another podcast, Pressbox Ep, credit for this, because he said to me, think about this, right, guys? In the whole kind of theme of what you said, how do you think the unthinkable with an iceberg?
Oh!
Do you get it? Do you get it?
No.
Yeah. Think about it. Just go through your head.
How do you think the unthinkable with an iceberg?
Okay, yeah, now I'm with you.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
Are you?
Yes.
Go on.
Nine times out of 10 people say that.
No,
and they don't
I'm
do it.
with you. I sink the unsinkable.
Yes! Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Okay, so Con, Brighton Trophy Centre, Con and Lena, thank you very much.
Con and Lena.
We do have another sponsor.
We do. Shifty Lizard Brewing up in Wollonga.
All right,
Yep.
we'll get to their $20 voucher very soon as well. I'm yet to try Shifty Lizard, so we're going to find out when we speak to them next where you can purchase it from,
Yep.
so we can
We'll get a list.
We can pump them up. But I've got some news for you guys.
Really?
Yep. I haven't put this on our kind of plan. We don't really plan, but this is
It's exciting when we do this.
It really is.
This is legitimate
I'm
news.
nervous and excited at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. How are your feet going
That's weird.
in winter? Just talk to me about your feet.
My feet are fine. I actually think I've got quite picturesque feet, to be honest.
Gross.
Foot model.
Could potentially be, yes.
We're learning a lot about you today, mate.
Well, I can make sure that we have best team men's socks, right? And if you want to be the foot model for that, perfect.
Well, I mean, you and merchandise hasn't really gone well before. But
Morning price, I can get a lot of them.
I'm glad you raised that because the lovely people at Odd Sock Mob are joining Best Team Men. So I'm wearing their socks at the moment. So they pride themselves in odd socks, right? So literally I'm wearing odd socks at the moment.
Yep.
So via Nate Turner, he got in touch with me and he said, mate, these dudes, they would love to be involved. And they would like to give away some socks to our listeners.
Unbelievable.
So we'll get
That's
some pairs
awesome.
for you
That's
boys
so
to
good.
wear.
Yeah.
And this is what I thought of.
I've been
because
wearing
they
odd
are-
socks for years.
Yeah, me
exactly.
too.
Now you can officially do it.
Yeah.
They are on Instagram as well. So on Instagram, they are at Odd Sock Mob. If you want to press the follow button right now, at Odd Sock Mob, they look amazing. You can see it right now on my screen.
That's great.
It looks awesome. We'll put a link in the
How good would it be to work there, though? Because you can be so lazy. Because
Exactly.
when you're packaging, you're like, man, one over here, one over there. Yeah, she be right.
Imagine if you got a pair. You get fired.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So this is what we're going to do. The challenge is, because Odd Sock Mob are now part of our sponsorship, I think we've kind of tiered the sponsorship. We got a real Con being, and Lena at Brighton Trophy Centre are our massive major sponsor. If
Yep.
you're looking
Yep.
at the plaque underneath, we've got tiered sponsors as well.
Yep.
However, if you want the chance to win a pair of odd socks from Odd Sock Mob, you need to promote our podcast.
Yes.
Simple as that. If you hear it or you go onto Twitter when we share it, if you retweet our podcast or you give it a rating or a review or you give your honest feedback or thoughts, even if you say, I love Fanta, something like that, it doesn't matter.
Be plenty of those coming in.
Exactly. If you naturally promote the pod, you said it real. Probably those
Yeah, because they're all your fake accounts and your burner ones. On the side. Oh, at Matt loves Fanta has written in, says loves Fanta.
So promote the podcast and we will take your details. And then, so they've said to us, like at least once a month, there's a chance we'll do it every second week. We'll give away a pair of socks.
That's
as an
unreal.
odd socks
Awesome. That's so good.
to people who promote the podcast and Ozcast Network and stuff like that. So thank you very much to them for joining Best Team Man. It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. Yeah,
Like
it's great.
we started talking sport.
Yep.
And now we are.
I went back and listened to our first episode the other day.
How'd that go?
Yeah.
Horrible.
What's your feedback on that? Like, we
Quit.
Were you guys nervous or like just unsure about what was going?
We know we wanted to
Yeah.
work together.
It sounded like I was halfway down Perry Street. You couldn't hear me. Yeah, that's not bad, Jared.
Yeah, so I think the sporting stuff should happen like this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, it's amazing to see the growth amongst, well, more so Jared and myself. You're brand new, but
G'day, guys.
Welcome, mate. You know, Andy's just sitting in the corner, just hydrating.
anyone got any hydrolyte, guys?
You kind of feel that actually, because we've aged in the podcast. You've aged. You're another year older, Matty, and you're
Yeah.
struggling turning old, aren't you?
I am. I'm not dealing with it well at
So
all.
technically, you're the young buck because we're all 36. Jared goes first, I go second, and you're up.
I've just turned 36. Yeah.
Wow.
So yesterday was eye-opening because the more every time you have a birthday, the less and less significant it gets. The less excited I get about it. And I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if you guys felt the same or
Do you
not.
look
but-
back and you go, where have my 30s gone? Wait a sec, where have my
Yeah.
20s gone as well?
Well, a little bit of that, yeah. And holy shit, I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30.
Yeah.
That's not ideal.
I used to joke with a mate when we turned 20, oh, you're halfway to 40, and now I'm halfway to 72. It's not enjoyable at all. We're laughing, but we're also crying at the same time.
We really are. Did you go out and buy yourself a present?
Did I buy myself one?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. But that's the other thing. Like, I reckon when you're younger, you look forward to getting presents.
Yeah.
But when you're older, if you want something, you just go and buy it. You don't really, like, you don't need anything. And my missus and my family, like, what do you want? And I'm like, well, $1 million bucks? I don't know. Like, anything I want, I just go and get now. But
well, someo's doing well.
la-di-da.
I don't want a lot of stuff.
All I want is a cut and a fan tuck. Got it. Well, do you find it weird that you get to an age and you go, Mum, can you please, you kind of transition from Mum, can you please stop getting me socks and jocks to Mum, can you please get me socks and jocks?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then you think about it, because my mum gets me all these designer Bonds jocks for Christmas, which are all weirdos, but I love them. But then you get to a point when you think, is it weird that as a 36-year-old man, my mum is the only person that buys my jocks? Like, really?
Yeah. Like do you go, hey, Mum, I need the extra large this year, you know what I'm saying?
No,
things are going well, you know.
She would go, no, you don't, honey, you don't.
Things are going well.
Winter's coming up, Jared. We know what goes on there.
Yeah, I think you're right. When it comes to birthdays and stuff, they come and go. And especially, like, when you have to work, you just go, oh, God, I have to get it over with. Like, it's not that enjoyable.
No.
I feel embarrassed when people say happy birthday
Mate,
now.
same.
Like,
I hate it.
I hate checking the Facebook on the day.
Yeah.
You know, like going through and like, you're like, oh, God, do I actually have to reply to every single one?
You have to like them all.
But also, like, it's this weird embarrassment where you just want to get it over and done with and move on for the next day.
Did you check all 3 of your Facebook accounts?
No.
Okay.
I can't remember the login to the other 2.
What? You can't even remember the login to our Best Team Men Twitter account?
No, you're right. I can't.
We need to do that because I
You
want
need access to it. Yeah,
Yeah, because I want to start tweeting some stuff which isn't responsibly connected to my name. Because I've got some great stuff. Yeah, I've got some great stuff.
Let's just dump us in it. Yeah,
I've
no
got
worries.
some really good stuff.
I'll work that one out for us and send it on.
Thank you very much. Social media, speaking of which, we saw yesterday, Andy, which I thought was from the night before, but then I realised, hold on, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and Andy's on the beers.
Mate, when you're a business owner, anything can happen any day.
So what
Ciders or
happened?
beers?
Beers.
Beers.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone thought it was going to be ciders for me, but I decided, no, it's for a podcast. Let's do beers.
Okay.
So, yes. What podcast it was called Blind Drunk, which is a sub-podcast of another podcast called Blind Insights.
Right.
And the blind bit is one of the guys is blind.
Right.
But he's a philosopher, dude, like lecturer, doctor, whatever. And then on the side, he loves beers and hanging out and stuff. So they do this podcast called Blind Drunk, which they will just literally just have maybe 4 or 5 beers. They'll review them and also just have a chat within and, see what comes up. It's like the Best Team Men, but with beers.
Right.
See, I
And a
still think
blind
we
guy.
should do that. We need to pencil in a Friday night to do Best Team Men on a Friday night here with some beers and wine.
We could do it with some Shifty Lizard.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Yep.
Boom. So we've headed up to Crayford's Hotel because they have a wide range of boutique beers up there. And we gave it a crack, and we gave it a pretty good crack.
Yeah, so for you knowing how you normally go, you go, no, mate, I'm driving. And then you'll eventually go, I'm driving the bus. So you'll have 1 or 2, and then you've crossed the point where you're like, actually, I'm just going to have a session.
So what happened, we got our own transport up there and got an Uber back and stuff. So I didn't have to worry about driving or anything like that. I had family responsibilities afterwards, of course, but we got there. I was like, oh, man, I'll have a couple of ciders and then we'll head home.
Yeah.
I went, nah, let's give the stout a crack. And 5 stouts later and a lot of percentages, I was very merry.
I'm going to listen to this podcast.
Andy knows, and he's being very safe. He knows that we're not a smutty podcast. And you can tell he's really struggling to get this story out.
Well, also, I wanted to make sure when I got home that night that I wasn't like the thumb that couldn't speak the last time I got home after a big night out. So I paced myself and drank heaps of water, and no one else did. So I was that sober guy in the corner going, this is
So you're
real
okay
rubbish.
this morning?
Pretty hung. Yeah. Well, like I said a few podcasts ago, I can't do more than a couple of ciders.
Yeah.
Like half a stout.
That's
And I was
getting
like,
old
this one's
thing.
hit me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I went really hard on it in my 20s. You know, like
Right,
I
yeah.
went really hard. So my poor liver's just cooked.
I remember the first time I met Andy. I don't think we've ever spoken about this. I met him at the Grand, right? And I reckon it was not a Nova party, but there was something upstairs, a private function. And I had just finished my personal trainer's course, and Andy was looking to get some training, right? And we were both absolutely hammered.
Was I?
And
Was I dressed as a pirate?
No, not that time. No. So, and that's where I met Andy. I coerced him into some personal training sessions.
Were we working together or were we just
No,
there?
that was the first time we'd met. I reckon.
Was it a Sunday night?
It was a Sunday night. It was a long weekend, and I reckon
yeah.
I was there because
Yeah.
I'd just finished my course and been ticked off.
Yeah.
And the whole class was out celebrating.
Was
and
I there with my old housemate Paul Curran, who used to do all the work before
G'day,
Jared
guys.
until he took all the work?
Oh, come on.
No.
You well?
You were there with Shane, I reckon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And you were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm a personal trainer."
And he's like, yeah, I'll beat your pants. It's swimming if you need any lessons.
Oh, that's right. And then that led to you eating donuts for breakfast.
That's right. Yes. And Red Bulls.
Oh, my God.
Good times.
Well, boys, a story I didn't get to last week and I wanted to because I'm being really reflective with radio and what's happening in the industry at the moment. Obviously, was what's happened at Channel 10 and with the company I work for. There's lots of changes coming. So I'm just looking at all the old stuff I've done, backing up emails and all that other stuff, just in case. And you go through photos like the radio industry is amazing. It's certainly not what it seems when you listen to the products go to air and stuff. There's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes, which is stressful and taxing, and it's a full-on industry.
Well, the way I sort of explain it is anyone that's on air or the face of the station, whether that be the street team or anything like that, they're brilliant actors half the time because they have to look a certain way for the company and the way that the business is and stuff.
Yeah, it's tough.
Lots of pressure.
Yeah, and there's moments where things just happen. You have to adapt to change. I've had times where about 10 years ago I was told that something is affecting my work in a negative way, and they're like, cool, good luck on the air, mate. I'm like, oh. So you just have to basically just suck it up and pretend everything's fine. And if you think about it, like your job as a radio announcer is to make everybody else happy, no matter what's happening in your personal life. If you feel sick, if you've had a fight with your missus, if your grandfather's passed away, you got to be that same person.
You've got to be up and about.
Yeah. And it's even more exhausting when you go through those negative times because you have to take a deep breath and go, I just have to zone out here for a couple of hours. It's
especially
tough.
with what used to be called the bat phone, which was a phone that was in the studio that would be connected to a flashing green light. And if that flashing green light rang, you had to answer. It's like the CEO has that number, the PD, that's about it. So if that rings, you have to answer. And back in the day, it was always the PD. Mate, you didn't talk. You're supposed to wait 3 seconds for the start of the song and then start speaking, not 2 seconds, buddy. And like would literally,
How hard is it to sort of bite your tongue there and not say, mate, go and get stuffed?
It's tough.
You got to pick your battles, that's for sure.
Well, you got to, because you also go, hold on a second. Like, as the boss, do they wait until the end of the shift when you continually make that mistake to tell you, or do they risk throwing you mentally halfway through and saying, "No, fix it now"? And you go, "Hold on, wait a sec, don't tell me." Like some people don't like being spoken to while they're on air. Some people I've worked with don't like being looked at when like they're on the air.
Oh yeah, I know what. I can say her name if you want. No,
what happens if you don't answer that phone?
Your mobile starts ringing.
I accidentally, when the bat phone rang once, I accidentally thought I messaged my wife and said, insert name here is being such an asshole today. Far out, can't wait to get home. Accidentally sent it to the boss.
Yes.
And then he's like, was that meant for me? I'm like, no. So anyway, there's some cool stuff that happens with radio. And back when there was kind of like...
the cool stuff happening?
Yeah. there used to be record labels and PR companies before Zoom or anything existed. They would say, hey, so-and-so's in Australia for a movie premiere. Do you want to go and speak to them? So I filled in once for Merrick and Rosso in Sydney. I just did their best of show, and they said there's no one on site to go and interview a chick who was on... Transformers movie, the Isabel Lucas, her name. She was in Transformers. So I went and interviewed her, like just about the movie, like cool stuff like that. Some people get flown overseas to do these interviews. Like you still see that now sometimes as well. They go on the whole junket. And I sat down in the boss's office this one time, and this was I think in 2006, and they said, hey mate, what are you doing this weekend? And I was like, I don't think I'm doing much. He said, okay, do you want to interview Alicia Keys? Like,
wow.
Yes, I would. And they say, great. Here's the deal. It's in Hong Kong. I'm like, hold on. So you're saying you're going to put me on a plane fly me to Hong Kong. I interview Alicia Keys and I come back. Like, yep, that's what you're going to do. Like, that is brilliant. Sign me up. Yes, I've rung my missus, who was just my girlfriend at the time, saying, this is amazing. I've got this opportunity. I'm going to do this. This is absolutely brilliant. I was pumped. I was on top of the world. And you probably notice I'm saying the word was because the next day, and this was on a Saturday, and I think I was supposed to fly out on the Sunday. The Saturday, I got a call from the boss saying, mate, the Alicia Keys thing isn't happening. I said, hold on a sec. What do you mean they've cancelled? He's like, no, that's still happening. We have to send someone else. And I'm like, why? Look, it's going to be difficult to explain to you, and you probably won't understand, but we've just got to do what the company wants here. What's happening? So a couple of months before, I had agreed to host a bingo party at the Marion Hotel, and the sales guy at the time cracked the shits because I would be missing out on hosting the bingo day at the Marion Hotel.
No.
And put his foot down and said to the bosses, we have an agreement with the Marion Hotel.
No way.
Jared will be hosting this bingo day and will not be flying to Hong Kong to do this once-in-a-lifetime interview with Alicia Keys.
Nah.
That's
not having that.
That is actual bullshit.
I'm not having that.
Can you imagine?
Who was this bloke?
I mean, like, the Hurley Group's great. But...
Can you imagine?
And this is old Marion Hotel. This isn't new, updated Marion Hotel.
And then me on a Sunday, I'm just going, two fat ladies.
Remember that time that we did the bingo night together?
I can only imagine,
mate. This.
You know what? I wouldn't have gone. I would have had a sickie out of principle for that.
It was so deflating, but because I had committed to doing this, they cracked it, and I had to do it.
That's a fair indication of how the commercial media works, though. That they will literally switch lanes for clients.
Yeah, but ultimately, like, if you look at it for everything, I did commit to doing it, so it is what it is.
What were you at that point? Were you an afternoons announcer,
just
or
a mornings announcer? Yeah.
So who? They couldn't get someone else.
That's what I thought. There's plenty of other people.
Marion Hotel, like, come on, was Paul Curran busy or something?
And I mean, we got the poor man's Paul Curran over here. I was available.
What's Andy doing? Oh, he's passed out in the corner. So
he's had a half a cider.
Yeah. Just pop this one down for the next week. The Goody Hotel. I have to tell a story about working there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Just
brilliant.
in reference to that.
We will write that one down. So that is actually what happened. It was the day I almost interviewed Alicia Keys, and like anyone else who got opportunities to go overseas, like Hayley, who I used to work with, got to go to LA and interview Dave Grohl, like all these people flying over and doing these things. I'm like, that was my opportunity and I missed out. But yeah, I mean, the Marion Hotel were really entertained on that Sunday.
Yeah, was it packed or was it?
Mate, you know me and my history of working at pubs. There was no one there. Come on, mate. Yeah.
You're making up your own little like rhymes with the numbers. You're like 33, Alicia Keys.
Yeah, that's right. Just filthy 44, Alicia Keys. No. Like, you're just not even bothering anymore.
Number 33, the salesperson's a fuckwit. All right. Wow. So, look, Andy, we spoke about this at the start of the round, which there's plenty still to come on Best Team Men as well. We're going to talk about Con and Lena at Brighton Trophy in a second because we are bringing, a bit of life to what's happening. But this is information that you need to be aware of what happened the other night between Matty and myself. Matty, this is over to you, mate, because I'm still unsure about your reasoning behind this.
Should we go like message for messages if we've...
No,
yes.
okay.
Play it out for me. Play it out. I'm just sitting here, boys, with a drink on.
There might be some words you need to change. So at 7:12 on Friday night, and this would be completely out of the blue to Jared. Yep. Okay, I was
watching the footy. Port Adelaide taking on Geelong at Metricon. I'm just having a glass of red, just sitting back going, I'm watching. I have my phone near me just in case. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. 7:12. Hey, got a strange request.
Oh, God.
Have you got a recent photo of your dog when you have shaved it or trimmed it?
All right.
What?
No, I wrote.
On a Friday night. It's just sitting there.
I wrote, no, she's getting one next week, you sick fuck.
I replied with, okay, can you send me one when it happens? Have you got an older pic of when she's had a trim? Is there less hair when you get her clipped?
It's starting to feel a bit obsessive.
I know,
like
I
it's
know
like,
that.
no, but really, can you send one through?
I'm going to change the F word to the word hell here. What the hell are you on about? Are you cooked?
I said, ha, 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 ha. Nah, Lids, who's my mate, and I was at his house watching the footy. I go, nah, Lids has the same dog, and they want to see what it looks like when you do it.
My response, I've seen some weird shit in my life. This is right up there.
Yeah. And I wrote, hey, Siri, say H-A-H-A-H-A-H-A-H-A-H-A.
I'm sorry, I can't.
You're a dickhead. I wrote, ha, 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 ha.
So I wrote, weird C-bomb.
Yep.
And I wrote, so you don't have a pic?
He's still going on about it.
Yeah, he's really
So my
pushing.
response, no, sorry, but when I shave my dog, I'll ensure taking a pic for Nick Little, Brett Delidio is the first thing I do.
And it was left there. That was it. Okay. Now, Sunday
You
morning.
didn't even write back to it.
No, I left it. Yeah, I was done. Sunday morning, I wrote Jared a message. All I said was, hello.
Yeah.
All right, hi, it's still a no for shaved dog.
I replied with, ha, 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 ha.
And that was it.
That was it.
You're right, boys. That is weird.
Yes.
So talk us through this,
Oh,
please.
so Lids has got the same dog as you. Okay, so
What do you mean? What's he got my dog for?
anyway, Lids has got the same dog as same style dog. Yeah, same genre of dog
What's
as
yours? Mine is Armani. What's yours? Golden Retriever. Okay, great.
So Nick's got a golden retriever, and they've just had a new boy, baby boy, 13 weeks old, Louis, and
Wait a second, sorry.
yeah,
That's a human baby. I think he's talking
Okay.
about there. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So Nick and his wife,
Nick's
Jess,
just got a golden retriever.
no,
and
he's had a golden retriever
Right.
for years.
Okay.
And they've just had a new baby boy,
Yes.
Louis Little.
Congratulations.
Okay, so, and they're worried about the hair being on the ground on
Louis
the couch.
Little?
Yeah, Louis Little. So
Okay.
they're worried about the hair being on the the ground and the couch and stuff like that around the baby, and
Yep.
they want to get it clipped,
Okay.
and they just don't think. They don't know how it's going to look. They thought it might look weird, so they wanted to see a photo. So there's some context.
Yeah.
into-
I mean, my advice would be probably say that at the start. Then, hey, can you send us a photo of your shaved dog?
Yeah, because you can take
I'm
that.
very lucky you didn't send something else back to me.
I've seen his shaved dog. It does look weird.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So we're going to take a breather and we're going to tell you about Con and Lena at Brighton Trophy Centre, because they are a fantastic organisation. And let's start us off straight away. Winners, champions, legends. South Australia is full of them, we know that. And their cabinets are full of trophies from Brighton Trophy Centre.
For 23 years, their family-run business has celebrated victories with a wide range of engraved trophies, cups, plaques, glasses or mugs, honour boards, chopping boards, you name it. Whether it's for the office or on the field, they'll commemorate any achievement on any budget.
Sporting clubs receive free engraving, so visit Brighton Trophy Centre or call 8377 1999.
Thank you very much to Con and Lena. Boys, I need to know if you remember the first time that you discovered the internet. I know it's quite a broad question. I thought about this last night, and it's an awkward experience, but when I was living in Tasmania, the internet started becoming quite popular in households. Just before that, it was only popular in some certain workplaces. So my dad worked at the ABC, so they obviously being a radio broadcaster, there was a television station there as well. They had one computer that had the internet. So it was kind of like that lost computer. There's just one computer that controls everything. So I went and spoke to a friend, Con. His name's Con
there you go.
Vallis, who ended up being on MasterChef for some reason. Very small man. And there's no relevance to the story.
Nothing whatsoever.
But he said to me, mate, you should check out this thing they call the internet. Okay, well, what is? He said, you can type cool things in there, like Silverchair. So I thought, this is awesome. I'm going to type Silverchair into the internet. At this point, I didn't know search engines exist and things like this. So where my dad's office was at the top floor of the ABC. Where the internet computer was the bottom floor. So Dad showed me the internet computer, and Dad just had no idea how to do anything. And he's like, mate, you can work it out. So I sat there. And at this point, one of my dad's colleagues walked past and he's like, it sounds so creepy. He's like, checking out the internet, are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to type in Silverchair. He's like, oh, mate, I'll show you some things. So I was around just before I was 16, and he's like, oh, I'll check it out. So I basically went to the websites that he instructed me to, and soon enough, my dad walked down and said, mate, what are you looking at that for? And I was looking at things that you probably shouldn't look at the internet at that time.
Wow.
So at the same point of trying to look at Silverchair, this bloke showed me some adult material.
Some silver hair.
Well, yeah, and that was my first experience of the internet, and it's kind of burned into my brain forever.
It's a good start. Because we're at that age where the internet was developed around like when we were growing up. Like
Yes.
kids these days are born and it's already there.
Yep.
They've got it already. So, yeah, for us it was, reasonably hard to sort of wrap your head around. But I remember mine was at the Happy Valley Primary School library, and our library teacher gathered the whole class around and he was like, this is just this new thing where it's like a magazine online. Well, it's like a magazine on a computer, basically. So we looked up at that time, like we thought Rip Curl was, cool. Like, Rip Curl's the best. So he's like, what should we look up? Like, name anything in the world, and all the kids, hey, Rip Curl. So, Matty's in the back.
What about the bad girl stickers?
My dad's mates in the background. I've got some stuff you can look at.
Fanta. So that was mine. Yeah, it was year 7 in the school library. The teacher was there and just tried to explain it the best he could, but obviously it was new to him as well. So
it's such a weird thing when you look back on it. Like, do you remember yours, Andy? Did you just go into chat rooms as well?
Yeah, like at our I went to middle school with boys. So our computer room was all those like that they were Apple Macs, but they were like the real skinny ones with the tiny little thing, and that like most of them were all black and white. So we'd be playing things like chess and Carmen Sandiego.
Oh yeah, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yep.
Yeah.
But there was always an internet computer, very similar to the one at the ABC.
Yeah.
And literally it was just always like, but I just remember it being super slow.
Yeah.
Like to actually, I mean, for starters, my keystrokes were pretty fucking slow as well.
Yeah.
But when it came to looking stuff up, it's super slow. But that's the weird thing about you, Matty, with the Rip Curl thing. That's the stuff that we were looking up as well. It's like you think about brand names and there's names that you know, and you look at like, oh wow, wow, oh Spain, like stuff like that. Tennis racket.
Yeah. Or what people used to write on their pencil case. The guy I went to school with thought he was a legend because he could write Limp Biscuit on his pencil case.
Do you ever used to do the Stussy S? As well,
Or he used to do the 3 lines and then 3 lines underneath and connect them and write Shack.
A couple of my fondest memories of early internet days were you used to get on MSN. And you're talking to the girl that you used to like.
ICQ.
Yeah. And you talk to the girl that you're really into. You never talk to her at school.
Yep.
And you'd ask her out.
Yeah.
And then she'd say no, and you go, oh. That was just Jared. He just jumped on while I went and had a drink.
I used to love chat rooms. I reckon if chat rooms were still like around now, I'd go in them now. But you got to pay for them now, apparently.
And the other thing was this, like
they're called OnlyFans.
Anyway, the other thing is you'd be on there and you'd be you'd be 14 or 15 minutes into downloading an hour-long song. And Mum would be like, I need to use the phone. You have to pull the plug out and put the phone back in.
What I used to do in high school, right? So we had dial-up internet at home, and there was always a thing, 2 things. It was the high school went to, if your teacher was away for the session after lunch, you could go home, even if there was like a relief teacher, right? So I'd always lunchtime look at the board and go, no, my teacher's not there, and just go home anyway. And also some days I just wouldn't even go to school because I just didn't care. I was like, I'm an athlete, I'm a swimmer, I beat Japan, so I don't need to go to school. So what I would do is unplug the phone and put in the dial-up internet and just sit on the net all day.
See, that's
even if I wasn't using it, and the school would call home
and
going, where's Andrew? And they could never get through, so it would never go against whatever, like mum and dad never knew.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But your mum listens to the podcast, doesn't she?
She does, and so does
She's
Dad
on the,
now.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, he said he doesn't he doesn't know about the vacuum thing.
What do you mean?
The broken vacuum?
Well, listen to the other ones.
No, he was trying to be funny. Anyway, let's move on, guys.
Good one, Dad.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we need to get to this part. What do you got for us?
No, you go.
So last week, And one of the other things that my wife listened to when she heard the podcast last night, she said, Jared, I've just heard Insane in the Methane, as did a lot of people that I work with, and they are aware of that hidden talent that I've got. So we sent Andy on a mission last round to find other audio.
Well, I mean, are they a real friend or a relative if they don't know about your skill that you have?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It might be an issue because a lot of people say I need to get checked.
Yeah.
But I've got a medal.
Fair
Thank
enough.
you, Con and Lena.
Yes.
So what have you come up with?
Okay, we're going to go back a few years. So, as you know, you heard with Insane in the Methane, and I made something out of your pop off. This time round, I was sitting there at work. I was like, it was maybe in the afternoon during the week. I was like, I can't stand doing normal procedural production at the moment. Let's make something creative. And as I'm thinking that, I've heard Jared go to air doing a forward sell. And he said, okay, this Friday at 3:00, okay, he's telling you what's coming up, right? But instead of 3:00, he's naffed it up a bit and said 3:00. All right, so I'm like, here we go. I can make something out of this.
And then the only time, just before you play it, the only time that Andy is actively listening
It's when you make a
is
mistake.
when you hear on the bat phone doesn't ring, Andy's little studio lights up, and you hear him go,
Yeah. All right, so this is what I made out of Jared's forward selling something on Friday at 3:00.
Sure is, and on Friday after 3:00. Bad man! Bad man!
And that's the sort of creative stuff I sort of got up to in my days at Nova.
I love it.
I make so many of those mistakes still, and I hope people don't listen.
We
but-
just got to be professional and push through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I sometimes like highlighting them as well, just like the word highlight. I'll next week bring in the Adelaide United stuff up. I was going to talk about your haircut, but we're pushing for time, so we can do that next week because you get haircuts on the regular. I don't. So you'll probably have another one this time next round as well.
Yes.
Sure.
So now we're going to play Andy's Burning Sporting Issues.
Oh, you've got to do the pretend intro.
And he's burning sporting issues.
Thank you.
Should we do something official for that, or just
We
leave
probably
it as that?
should.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
So
Oh.
I'll explain how it works because this is your game. You guys own this one. So Andy knows nothing about sport apart from Dustin Fletcher, Jared Crouch, Luke Crouch. For example, we had someone in here earlier. We were talking about Matthew Locken, who used to play for Collingwood. And Andy said, are you talking about Tony Locken? And we were talking about Tony Plugger Lockett. Yeah. So there's an example. So Matty finds some sporting headlines and then he reads them out. Andy needs to decipher what the story is about. And I love this. I actually love sitting back and watching while I'm drinking this beautiful water thanks to Con and Lena at Brighton Trophy Centre.
So I've got 3 for you this week.
3. Oh,
Three.
God.
Okay. First one. Women stall without cocks.
Wow. You know what? Is it to do with horse racing?
No, it's not.
It's a different sport.
You know what? If it's not horse racing, it's definitely, I keep saying it, but OnlyFans. It sounds like something that happens on there. Like they're in the toilet stalls and they're getting into business for only $5.99 a month.
No, it's not. No,
Okay.
no. It's about the US lacrosse team. Okay.
How's that going to do with anything with lacrosse?
Well, there's a lady named Della Cox, and the women's national team didn't go that well without her. So,
Yeah, good one. See, Matt's great at this.
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Matt's
yeah,
really
very
good. You, not so much.
number 2, Adidas gives Andy Murray. I had to do that because of Andy Martin.
Yeah.
Andy Murray new shorts after balls pop out.
Well, that's an obvious one, isn't it?
Is it?
The old testicular ball popped out
No,
of his shorts?
No, the tennis balls popped out of his shorts when he was
That's
going.
not fun.
When he was going,
Why would you bother talking about that?
I don't know, but it was funny.
I liked it.
Big unit mounts one last comeback.
Oh, that was me beating Japan. Absolutely. Yeah, there we go. Ni hao.
Oh, no, that was a Arizona Diamondback baseball pitcher, Randy Johnson is his name, actually.
Randy
Yeah. Big Jono.
Yeah. Big Randall.
The old heavy head.
Randall Johnson.
Congratulations to the Port Pirates, who are currently sitting 5th on the table at the moment. It's not so good for what happened over the weekend. They took on Cove FC and they went down 2-0. However, we had a bit of progression with Port Pirates because Matty, one of the members of the Port Pirates, decided to follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, not just any member. The man, Skeff.
What happened
old
here? How did this happen?
Sceffo. The old scaffold.
You like the scaffold?
Yeah, the scaffold. Scaffold. No, so I can't remember. I can't remember who exactly, but I was on someone's profile, and then you know how suggested people you may know come up underneath.
Yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
Skeff was on that, so I actually gave him a follow first.
Right.
And yeah, he gave me a follow back.
Wow.
So
Well, that's
Skeff
brilliant.
monster.
Pretty happy with that.
I felt a bit sad because he wasn't following me.
Did you
And
give
then
him a follow?
I looked at his account. He hasn't posted
No, he
anything.
doesn't, no.
He's got 360 followers, which is weird, and he follows 456 people. And I think it's still a bit strange. He's just doing it to stalk people, obviously. But he's a legend, so we always talk positively about the Skeff. This is the guy that scores all the goals for the Port Pirates, mate. He's an absolute legend. So I sent him a DM. Wait, sorry. So I need to go back even further. Sorry.
So
Port Pirates are a soccer team.
No, just,
I need to go back.
we need to get
Soccer
cameras in
is
here.
a sport.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so I sent him a DM. I'm going to read out the DM
Oh,
exchange
here we
because
go.
it's really flattening.
Flattening.
Yeah. Skeff, you know we talk about you weekly on our podcast. Hey, mate, no, I haven't caught much of it, unfortunately. I have seen that you're following the club. It's much appreciated from all of us. All the support and the shout-outs don't go unnoticed. Well, obviously they do, Skeff, because you haven't heard any of them.
Listen to
I'll have to listen in. What's the details of it? I'm like, oh, it's called Best Team Men. We shout you out weekly, ha ha ha. But it was like a really awkward ha ha ha.
Yeah, you just said that to sort of not look like
A wanker, yeah. Legends, I'll get on board. What nights? Found it on Spotify. I'll be a regular listener. Brilliant.
good on
So
you,
that's
Steve.
great.
Yeah.
Welcome, Skeff. I said, if you ever wanted to send us a video shout out, we'll use it. So he could actually give the podcast a shout out. I think
Yeah.
he misunderstood that. He said, for sure, mate, happy to come in for a chat or a shout out. No worries. Brilliant. Thank you. Then underneath, scene. No.
he's too busy scoring goals.
He's too
Yeah, that's
busy
right.
scoring goals. But that's a great shout out. You also got a shout out by one of our old school listeners or old school boys before Skeff became our boy, and it's got something to do with your footy club.
Yeah, so I got a message the other day, last Friday, from our man LT.
Lindsay Thomas, mate. He played for North Melbourne.
Yeah.
He played for Port Adelaide. He played for Portland, I believe. And he plays Australian rules football.
Yeah.
He would have played against Dustin Fletcher at
Yeah,
one
he would've.
point.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yep. So he sent me a message on Friday morning saying, I'm a fan of the podcast, mate. Ha ha, pretty funny.
Great.
I said,
done.
I go, that's unreal. And then he goes, love the Eddie Betts 300 game story. Now, if you haven't heard that, that's where Jared went up to him a bit drunk and made a bit of a dick of himself.
Yeah, I told that story last year. So he's got a lot of listening to do.
Wow,
LT.
he's literally gone.
He's gone back to the start.
He's gone back to the start when we're talking some serious footy stuff. I might give us LT stats and how many hard ball
He
gets
kicked that
did he
many
get.
goals.
Let's talk about footy. Let's talk about you know what? Let's not do that, mate. Far out.
And then I replied, I said, how funny that we adopted you as our boy last year before I even knew you, and now we're at the same footy club.
Yep.
He goes, yeah, I couldn't stop laughing. And then he wrote, ha, 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 LT. And I replied, has anyone ever called you that? No.
That's brilliant.
And then he's asked us if we can refer to him as Boof, which is his nickname.
Oh, really? So
Yep.
it's Boof
So
now.
he's Boof. Yeah.
Okay. Totally fine with that. We respect people how they want to be
I'm
called.
going to put Boof on the plaque.
I think you should.
He's on.
Or
Yeah,
as
did
Andy
you-
called it, the plaque.
Yeah, the plaque.
Plaque.
Do
Plaque attack.
Do you incorporate LT into that, or you just write Boof?
I'll just write Boof.
He'll know what it means. Okay. I will put Paul Bonza on the plaque. Bonds is one half of Pickles and Bonds. I think they're still going, but Bonds is a legend. So he used to do some stuff at the Adelaide 36ers. He used to look after all of their media and communications. He works in merchandising now and has an amazing voice. So he does PA at the Adelaide Strikers, does commentary for the Sandful, and he does some stuff on radio here in Adelaide as well. Great guy.
On your
Bonds,
Bonds.
you are on the plaque.
Beautiful. And Andy's already put his on at the start.
Yeah, but he kind of Connellina. My dad.
No, one. Just one.
Well, I think Connellina.
I'm pretty sure
Lena.
Con is
already
on
on
the plaque.
Well, I'd say that he would put himself on the plaque, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want the word Connellina.
Yeah, Connellina. But no, Dad started listening. I was talking to him about it last night, and he's already jumped on you today
Okay,
and
so
started listening.
Can we refer it to just right Andy's dad?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, done.
I love that. That's brilliant.
Lock it in.
Multi-update before we wrap up this round. I thought we were close.
We were.
And it was a real easy one as well.
I know. We went 50%. We got 2 from 4, so not ideal, but we'll dust ourselves off and
Yeah,
have
so
another
Port
crack.
Hawthorn this weekend.
Yep, we'll jump on Port Hawthorn. Now, the winner of the Shifty Lizard $20 voucher is going to be Cameron Hawkins.
Great.
Okay, he got his leg right, which was Bontempelli anytime goal scorer.
Awesome.
So send us a DM on Twitter and we'll get your details and send you off a $20 Shifty Lizard voucher.
Awesome. So how do you follow us on the socials again if you want to get in touch?
At Best Team Men on Twitter, facebook.com/Best Team Men.
How do we get in touch with Ozcast if you want to have a look at all the other amazing podcasts on the Ozcast network?
Well, Jared, you can head to ozcastnetwork.com.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you very much for having us. Con and Lena, Shifty Lizard, Odd Sock Mob. They are looking after us. Remember, promote the podcast. And the other thing I would suggest is if you tag in Odd Sock Mob, I'm not sure they're on Twitter. So even if you just write Odd Sock Mob on Twitter, we will put you right into the running to win a pair of Odd Socks as well. We'll put a photo up with these amazing medals. It's been great, boys. We've been here for about an hour.
Yeah, it's been great.
We always find
That's gone quick again.
Yeah, it has. We always find stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this. Water is not wet.
There's a debate on that, isn't there?
See you, boys.
Okay, cheers.